YouTube.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jordan Sheridan. I am a journalist here in America. Uh, we are at an undisclosed location. You can put it on the floor, So there you go. I've
Really?
been on the road, in the field, for the last two weeks. I haven't been live because I am digging into something that is monumentally important that I didn't want to publicize what it was because it could potentially bring down certain government agencies, and those certain government agencies have been known to target certain truth tellers that are trying to uncover corruption. So, there you go. So basically, you will know where I am, what I'm doing in very, very due time. Possibly even this week. Jen.
They're saying the volume's low. I don't know why.
Volume's low. Hold on.
That's not why.
Doo-doo-doo. Saying the volume's low. Well, I'll talk louder. Tell me, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you?
Jerry Ross says he doesn't really want to hear you.
Do you dig it? Do you dig it? Now.
Oh, he's gonna be happy.
Let me know. Jerry Ross. Jerry Ross, I have very, very good news for you. And can they hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I've been trying to launch my own media company, as you know. And we rose out of the ashes from some tumultuous times to now we're back in the field. We're digging into things. I broke a story a few weeks ago on Flint. I hope you've read it. I'm digging into something else, which when I tell you what I have, woo, child, you are going to be very, very intrigued. But I thought to myself, you know what? As great as Jen, my business partner, is doing all of the things that I don't want to be bothered doing,
It's true.
and doing it very well, I felt, you know what? I've always said we need to broaden this out. This can't just be me. Because contrary to some public opinion, I don't, if it were up to me, I'd break some stuff and retire 40 years old. I'll be a justice warrior in the background, maybe mentor a few new people along the way. But, I want to broaden this out so we can bring on other reporters and other journalists. So I had to think to myself, who do I want to be the maiden voyager on this journey with me? And there's a lot of great progressives out there, a lot of great journalists, independent media, whether they're on camera, behind the camera. Who can I tolerate being on the road with? Who can tolerate me, which is a much tougher question, because, you might like me, but you ain't spending 24/7 with me, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm not a big, believer in anything happens for a reason. I think life is kind of random. Good things happen to bad people, bad things happen to good people, and on we go. But this week, actually, a couple days ago, it was like...
Hi, Jerry.
It was like lightning in a bottle. The floodgates opened, and the timing was there, and a gentleman who I wanted to join me was able to join me. So without further ado, I want to introduce the newest member of our soon-to-be media company.
What's happening?
Yeah.
What's happening?
Tommy Taihifi Bayless, or as his Irish friends call him, Ty. Yeah. So
What's happening?
Ty's joining me, joining Jen. He's going to be kind of doing everything: camera, editing, definitely on air stuff.
Yay! People are
I know
so
y'all
excited.
probably hella disappointed. Y'all probably thought the way he was gassing me up. Y'all probably thought it was like.
No, they're super happy.
Sean King.
Yeah, Sean King.
So
It was like, this nigga.
tell me, what got you over to my side? We've been talking the last few months.
Yeah.
Whatever you want people to know.
Yeah.
What are you going to be doing for us, and what are you excited to do?
Well, I think the biggest thing that drew me to you guys is the same dynamic that we had while we were with the Young Turks, before you left the Young Turks. It's just being on the road and being with the people, because a lot of times we like to pontificate about what we feel people want from 1,000 miles away. not even going in their neighborhood, not even seeing the demographics or politics of their communities.
Mhm.
But we then say this is what they want,
Right.
versus going out, and that's kind of what I missed after you left. Because after you left, I wasn't traveling as much. I think out of all the journalists, you did the most traveling. Everyone else just didn't do as much traveling as you, which in turn kept me at the studio. So, as I envied you from afar and saw you getting back out there, working, being on the street, I'm like, that's what I need in my life. And so, like you said, last week, those what they call those stars aligned.
Mm-hmm.
Those stars aligned, and it happened just like that, man. And I'm here, and I miss you, dog. I mean, we talk all the time. Man, like we missed the beat. We talk all the time, but I haven't seen you in like 5 months.
Well, I think you and we were on the road together at TYT probably for almost a year.
Yeah.
And we were starting to like build not just our relationship, but we were really like in St. Louis and other places. We were kind of being known as like a package deal, and people liked us to. So I left. But I think what's good about this to me is it's not just about what stories you cover, it's about how you cover it, you know?
And I lost weight too, by the way.
And you lost weight.
Yeah.
But you need people that are just, there's no other way to put it, real.
Yeah.
You know, like what you see with me is what you get.
Yeah.
How I am on camera is how I'm off camera.
Exactly.
And a lot of people, even in progressive media, I'm not pointing out anyone in particular, but like not everybody is.
They're not genuine. They feel like you need to be this way in public and this way in private instead of just being you. I think the you is what's always been appealing to me about you, is that you are that. You know what I'm saying? Extreme, asshole at times, but that genuineness is what I love.
Yeah.
I can deal with all the rest of the bullshit.
And I also think that Ty and Jen's experiencing it too. But when you're on the road, right? So if you have two things to look at, what you're exposed to.
Jerry Ross, what's happening? I know you missed me, man.
When you're exposed to, you know, what the corporate media is covering 24/7, frankly, even some independent media, just Trump. But then when you go out on the road and you're like, holy shit, like this entire city we're in, people are sick. Yeah. Or this is going on in this community and none of it's getting covered because everybody's fixated on the shiny object, which is Trump and Russia and all that stuff. I think that's why you joining is great, because you have a good sense about what the real story is, which communities are hurting, which communities are being totally ignored, and more importantly, you care. And that's why I wanted you aboard, besides the fact that I don't want to fucking deal with technology at all.
And it's hard to live life without me.
That's right.
Biggest reason.
That's right. That's right. So I think, you know, listen, we're still starting from scratch. We are relying on viewers for the most part, monthly Patreon subscribers. Obviously, I mean, I can't even, I'm like blown away. There's been recurring people contributing $20, $50, some $100, so that we could stay out in the field. People who have contributed for the last Flint trip we did. Virginia, it's literally putting food in our bellies and gas in the car and paying for the Airbnb we're at right now. But more importantly, you need more brains, you know what I mean? I don't have all the answers, so Ty is going to have ideas for where we should go. Ty is also more of an expert on certain issues than I am, so you'll definitely see him on camera. We're going to need more faces than me, more voices than me. Jen eventually will be doing her own journalism, and I think why I'm excited, besides the fact that I love spending time with you and we have a good chemistry, is I think that you have a certain eye for things that I might not. You know, in St. Louis, I remember the night we were arrested, you knew exactly where to go. You knew exactly what shot to get to show, you know, they were basically trying to square all the protesters in to have no exits, you know. But you don't really need to instruct Ty where to get the shot, where to do this, like he knows. And some people I've worked with, you know, behind the cameras are kind of just like, you know, they set it up in one place and they're not so eager to like get up in front of the powerful's face. Yeah. So that's part of why I'm excited.
Politics, we'll say, like it completely changed when you left. The authenticity, the connection, everything. I mean, it became really a talking head in front of a wall. You know what I'm saying? And that's just not what TYT politics were. You know what I'm saying? And that's me being introduced to the news, like news networks. Wasn't that for me? When I was first hired, they shipped me to Chicago to cover Barack's last speech.
Yeah.
And from then, I was on the move.
Barack or Black Jesus?
Black Jesus.
Okay.
My bad.
He likes Black Jesus. Yeah.
But you know, so I want to be on the road. I want to touch the people because we can sit back and try to use our own attitudes and say, oh, this is what they need, and be someone else's savior, or we can go out and see what they need. Because just because dude over there is black and dude over there is black doesn't mean, oh, they are going to want the same things. Well, he live in Idaho. This one lives in Los Angeles. You know what I'm saying? Their needs are different, but we just try to look at it as, oh, because maybe I'm black, I can. Nah, you got to be in those communities. You know what I'm saying? You got to touch the people, and the people will appreciate that. You'll get more by touching the people. The reason that you've been able to bounce back and people believe in you because they understand that authenticity, but they know because they've been in front of you. Yeah. They've seen you. You know what I mean? And so you can get the benefit of the doubt. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I also think actions always speak louder than words.
Actions always.
At the end of the day, you know this.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've never left his side, by the way, because it's my dude, and period.
No, I was saying because when we were at TYT, and even now, there are no other national media covering these stories. When we used to go to press conferences in North Carolina or Flint or wherever, it was just us and some local media.
Yeah. In North Carolina. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So really,
that barbecue.
That was a good barbecue. My pancreas
I
is still
frequently visit that picture on my Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a mountain of fucking food, though.
Yeah, we got at this barbecue place. I mean, probably like at least 20, 30 pounds.
I think we got half of Billy Goat's ass, and they just put it on the table.
But yeah, I mean, literally, this is hard work too. Like we have fun, but like you got to wake up early. Yeah. These are like 15, 16-hour days.
I mean, I'm putting this together that we got to get going.
It's all this equipment.
All this stuff.
So this is hard work, and I think that you need people that aren't satisfied just sitting on Twitter all day pontificating, because that's what I see too. People on the East Coast in the media world, people on the West Coast in the media world, they're kind of insulated into their bubble, and they think the most pressing thing is whatever Trump's doing, whatever he's tweeting. Yeah. I think Trump's terrible. I think he is doing terrible things. I think the separation of these mothers with their kids is barbaric. Like if it wasn't being covered 24/7 by everyone else right now, which they should be, I'd be on it in a minute. Yeah. But the thing is, we got to stop pretending that America was super duper awesome like the day before Trump was inaugurated. Yeah. There's a lot of awful things going on, a lot of corruption, frankly, in states with Democratic rule. There's a lot of things, and like whether it's Flint, East Chicago, other things that happen not under like a morally bankrupt Republican, but close to equal morally bankrupt Democrats. But I think the beautiful thing also is you're not an elitist, arrogant asshole like a lot of the people. So we actually not only want you to send us story ideas to tell us what's going on in your community, we actually depend on it. Yeah. Because when we're done in the very top secret location we're in now, we will tell you soon. We're going to be like, all right, let's look at the list people sent us. We're going to have to sort through some that might be a little kooky, but there's always going to be diamonds in the rough. We're like, holy cow, I had no idea this was going on in that place. Yeah. And we're going to go there. We are basically...
Didn't you hear about Standing Rock?
Did I hear about Standing Rock?
Through one of the...
East Chicago. East Chicago, I heard from a viewer, Standing Rock. So... And we want to interact with you. Like, we're going to be doing, behind-the-scenes footage, podcasts.
We're still guys that know us, that used to be around us. That show, you remember, Gefilte Fish and Fried Chicken?
Yeah. Fried Chicken and Gefilte Fish.
We're going to do that.
Yeah, we're going to do that.
We're going to keep that going.
We're definitely going to be launching the official company, the sooner the better. We have a website in construction right now. We got some other things in the works. But... most importantly, we got somebody that I think shares the vision for what we all share. I think everybody watching, besides Jerry, God bless you, Jerry,
Jerry
wants the stuff that's important that is stories of not even just corruption, but
Yeah.
inhumane things.
Yeah.
What we're covering right now, well, I don't want to tell you yet, is literally a borderline murderous. There are things going on by a government agency that are letting people die and lying to people, right? And if people like Jen has been helping me the last few weeks, myself, Ty now, if we weren't literally, I don't want to give away too much, but if we weren't literally doing whatever we can to talk to as many
Word of the day,
residents, as many residents as possible, we probably talked to, at this point where we are now, over 100 people.
Yeah.
Just by literally going around,
Yeah.
literally going around where we are and frankly knocking on doors.
But why though?
Why?
Why?
Because in my gut, I knew that the official line that has been told
Yeah.
about where we are is not true. So I
Yeah.
decided, you know what? Why don't I go around and ask actual residents? I don't want to say too much,
Yeah.
but and you know what? Shocker! When you go around and talk to real people, you learn a whole lot of corruption is going
But
on.
I mean, why are you doing it? What are you getting out of this?
Why? I think because I watched Shawshank once, and I was just like really pissed that Tim Robbins was in jail that long, and Morgan Freeman. Was
And
in
that,
jail that long.
and you
I
know,
think I'm a sucker for injustice. I don't like people being screwed, and I have a real distaste for bloated old white men making decisions on who will live and who will die.
don't you love when white people talk about other white people?
I have a real issue with a country that depicts itself as the leader of the free world, as a shining city on a hill, as a beacon of freedom that either poisons its citizens and then leaves them to die, or leaves half of the country starving while the rest has an unlimited buffet. It's okay if you work hard and succeed. It's not okay if the rules are rigged, so only certain people succeed and certain people don't. But I have a real disdain from personal experience of people labeled as journalists who get paid ungodly amounts of money to sit there with pounds of makeup and basically regurgitate what the government tells them. That is not journalism.
Yeah.
That's why I do this. And also, I'm actually a human being, and when I have to sit on porches with sick mothers, sick kids, and nobody's covering it anymore, that really burns me. It's hard for me to sleep knowing that's going on. More importantly, that no one's giving it attention.
And
Ty,
that's
Carl
what
wants to know why you do it.
That's what I'm getting. Carl Hammond? Hammond? Is
No.
it Hammond?
No.
Hammond?
No, just
No?
keep going.
Carl? Give me a minute, Carl. That's what I'm getting at, though. That, like, this isn't easy. This isn't, you're not getting paid. You know what I'm saying? We have to get paid through you. We have to be sponsored through our viewers. Like, you're here because this is your heart, your passion. That's the only thing that can drive anyone, because you can easily go get another job and make money that's secure, that you know you're going to be getting paid. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like your heart is in it.
Yeah.
And when your heart is in it, you're going to make something happen.
Yep.
Even if you have, and that's why you go door to door.
Yeah.
Because someone else can just go look at some statistics and say, oh, well, what happened yesterday? And knowing that those numbers could be fake also.
Exactly.
But because you know the corruption, like, let me go knock on these doors, because I know if they did this over here, can't tell you what they probably have done over here.
Right.
You
Right.
feel me?
And I also
I think that's what the people love, is that.
But I also think I've noticed this around the country. You know, when powerful people don't actually expect like aggressive journalism, when they don't expect like anyone to actually look into what they're doing, they're just sloppy about it. I mean, I can't tell you how many things I've
It's just like cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna cheat once, I'm gonna be like, oh, cheat twice, but then after I'm just a cheater, I'm gonna start slipping, and just because I've never got caught. And then you start being messy, like you said, yeah.
So like corruption's out in the open, it's just who chooses to actually look. Because let me tell you something. There is a lot of corruption in daily, everyday life that's going on in all of these communities that's allowed to continue happening because there's no media is generally just reporting on nonsense and regurgitating what the state tells them. So that's what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to actually cover things that no one else is covering. We're going to try to do it in a way that no one else is doing it. We're going to be real. We're going to have fun. And frankly, I think we're going to probably get in a little trouble.
Yeah.
The good type of
The
trouble.
good
Yeah.
type of.
You
The
know,
good- the
that's,
good
that's,
type.
that's, hey,
This is the good type of trouble.
hey, you got be careful.
Yeah. But let me tell you something. Behind the scenes, This man was very supportive for me in a
Yeah.
couple rough months.
Yeah.
Even when you were like down in Puerto Rico, you were calling me, seeing how it was. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I fought because you my boy, and I know. I fight for things I believe in. You know what I'm saying? So if I know the truth, that's all. I got your back forever.
So Jen, before we bon voyage, are there any viewer comments, questions, concerns? Oh, by the way,
Yeah, thank you, Boofire. I do keep them in
But
line.
Carl, you know what?
Yeah, answer
At
Carl.
times, as a child, I was so poor and we didn't have a lot, and I seen so much. I wish someone stood up for me and was there and say, why is this family living like this? Why are there roaches everywhere? Why aren't there lights on? Why haven't this kid had his haircut in 3 months? I wish I had someone to fight for me. You know what I mean? So I'm one of those people. I'm one of them people. That's why this means what it means to me.
Jen has a surprise face on, so that's either good or very bad.
Well, I just found out that WikiLeaks, a CIA guy, was the one who released Vault 7 to WikiLeaks. And he just got charged.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. So
Anyway.
well, here's the deal, folks. Here's the deal. So I could beat around the bush. I could say a lot of nice things, but I'm not good at that. So I'm going to keep it straight with you.
Keep it 100.
Ty is on board because of you. Ty is on board because you guys have been sending in. I think we're at 400 or about to hit 400 paid subscribers on Patreon. We've also had a hell of a lot of people supporting us, sponsoring each trip.
Moose Cow wants to know how you pick what stories you'll cover.
How I pick what stories?
It's normally the viewers.
Yeah. We're actually, Jen and I were talking about a lot more. I don't know if it would be a poll, but we're definitely gonna have a feature where we list stories, or we have you send in a bunch of stories. We put it up there to be voted on which ones you want us out more. I mean, sometimes I'm just gonna decide based on my own personal choice.
Yeah.
But how do I choose? Honestly, I think I choose based on going to places that I know if I don't go, like, it will never be covered. So that generally leans me towards underserved communities with a lot of poor people, communities that don't have a major media market. Because if they have a small media market, that generally, for example,
Unless it's a mass
if
shooting.
Standing Rock was going on in Baltimore, you would have had more media coverage.
Yeah.
But since it was in North Dakota, national media don't particularly care about North Dakota. But honestly, there's really no like formula I could tell you how I choose a story. It's just what pulls on my heartstrings, where I know like, oh, you're sending me a message from like New Jersey or Michigan or wherever. Like, well, that place is basically a fascist state, so I'm going there. But it's not going to just be me now. Ty's going to be in the mix for us to decide where we're going.
And if you guys look at the community tab on Jordan's YouTube channel, we have a poll up, and you can like vote on which stories you think you should cover. And right now,
really?
the one that's kind of winning, if you want to call it that, is school shootings, going to sites of school shootings that have been
just talking about
abandoned by
that.
media.
Yeah.
So yeah, check out the community
That's
tab and
for
vote.
some reason, I don't know why I didn't bring it up, but I was just thinking, we were talking about stories. I'm like when was the last time someone heard about Orlando?
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
that's just done.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
It just had an anniversary.
Parkland, Texas
Vegas.
just had a shooting. Vegas, but it's
And
not.
no one's talking. It's just.
Well, you know what the media does? The media does a great job of like the real time, like what tell us who drove him to the school, what happened minute by minute. And I guess that's valuable in some way, but what's really valuable is making sure these types of stories and these types of, honestly, terrorism is not normalized.
Exactly.
And the corporate media has been normalizing these stories by not covering it.
Exactly.
So we're going to go into communities where the
And not
cameras...
challenging goddamn politicians.
Yeah.
They just they bow down when they say, "Oh, it's not the right time to call for new gun legislation. Let the parents grieve." What the fuck? The reason that they're grieving because the last time it was a shooting, they said it's no time for gun legislation talk.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we gonna do? Continue to bite the bullet because we're scared of the NRA, or are we gonna challenge them?
Well, I also think you have anchors, I know Jen will be upset, like Jake Tapper, who interviews the guy who represents the
Jake has a good heart.
Santa Fe, Texas high school where there was that shooting where I think 10 died. And he says to the guy who represents them, who, by the way, is taking money from the NRA, well, there will be a time for politics, but, you know, in this interview, can I just ask you, can you share the details of the call you got from that congressman from Florida, since you got... No, how about you ask him about his NRA money? How about you actually report why these are happening? Because soulless politicians are basically allowing children to get murdered. So...
Oh, Jared's watching.
Jared.
He's so excited.
Oh, my brother.
Yay.
Yeah, my
Hi,
brother
Jared.
Jared's a
What's
big-
happening,
Yay,
Jerry?
Jared.
Big fan.
I haven't seen
Big
Jared
fan
in
of
a
Ty.
minute.
So basically, I was thinking I wanted to go on a. We're going to come up with a more tactful name, a bit of a tour to go cover the areas that have had these mass shootings. Talk to students still there. Talk to parents and family members of those who have been senselessly killed. Because we need to stop normalizing this. We need to get their faces back out there. We need to ask, can you tell us about your life after this? Can you tell us whether they've been active in trying to get more common sense gun legislation? Or talk, we need to show that mother who literally can't get out of bed anymore because they've lost their child. We need to show that family that's been torn apart. Parents that have been separated or divorced because, you know, a death of a child could decimate a life, a marriage. We need to stop normalizing stories like that. So we're going to go there. And you want to know the key? Going to do those kinds of stories is not going to make us rich.
No.
It's not going to immediately go viral. But you know what it's going to do? It's going to build our audience up because people, I have found it on the road. I'd like to know what you think.
Yeah.
People are not only hungry for these stories.
Yeah,
In many
no.
cases, they're desperate for help.
They
They're
are.
desperate
No,
for
they
attention.
are. That's why we're having all this resistance, all these protests, all like think about like this something. This may sound trivial, but Childish Gambino's video. I mean, the reaction that video got just lets you know how hungry we are for change, for something to like. This is who we are. Stop acting like it's not, and let's fix it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like people are hungry for that. And they're not getting it.
Yeah. And you know what? Tell you the truth, I'm sick and tired of these journalists pretending they care about real people. You know, for example, at the end of Michelle Wolf's White House monologue, the comedian at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, she wrote, and Flint still has no clean water.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you hear all these establishment people tweeting, oh my God, you know, things about Flint. Have they said anything since then? No. Have they gone down to Flint? No. So people are selectively outraged about things, but they're not so willing to leave their echo chambers in the East Coast, the West Coast, New York, DC, and actually get dirty. Let me tell you
You
something.
know why? Because it's uncomfortable.
Right.
It is.
Mhm.
And I mean, I can't be mad at them to keep it 100. Like, I get it. It's uncomfortable to put yourself in a position where you're vulnerable, where you don't know if you're going to have enough money to make rent or to take care of your children. So it's scary to say no and fight for something that's worth fighting for, but it doesn't like directly. It doesn't directly affect you. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to let go of comfort to go to the unknown because you don't know. That's an uncomfortable position, but you have to. That's where the growth happens.
Right. So I think that, you know, right now is a very, it's a day by day thing, but we're also thinking broader about how we launch this company, how we do it successfully. I think it's going to be sooner than later. I think that Ty joining me on the road is a big first step. I think also,
Huge.
I think also, when I say like, this is not going to be a one-way conversation. We want to know what kind of media company do you want to watch? What kind of stories do you want to watch? Where do you want us to go? Jen is pretty brilliant as far as...
Say it again, Jordan.
Jen is pretty brilliant as far as taking in the information and helping us execute it. Because I don't want to just do what I want to do. I want to do what do the people want and need. Unfortunately, YouTube, Facebook, all these things have been a little not helpful in terms of not showing our content, not notifying people. We're working on that as far as building our own website where we could go live on that website. We're definitely going to have a section on that website where you can become a member, a subscriber, a Patreon, whatever.
Thank you, Pete.
Thank you. But most importantly, very soon you're going to know where I am,
Thank you,
where
Jared.
we are, what we're working on. Let me just tell you, what we're working on apparently is worthy because the New York Times tried to steal my story. wait till I tell you the story about that, because I'm not done with you, New York Times. I am not done with you. They've tried to steal my story. I naively sent them my story and what I was working on. They got back to me, and I'm like, oh, well, you know, the New York Times sucks, but hey, if they're going to publish my story on this major investigative thing we're about to break, you know, that's fine. It's the New York Times. We want to get it out to more people. Then I find out, oh, this editor that I sent my notes to just passed it on to their reporter to go dig into it. It wasn't a tip, New York Times. I was pitching it to get published. But I digress.
But they're too lazy to do what we're doing.
Do we have any? We don't want to leave the Facebook people out.
I can't reach
Okay.
them. I'm sorry,
I could hold.
Facebook.
I could hold. Anything on Facebook before we go? Excitement, dismay. They can't hear us.
For some reason, the things aren't displaying properly.
Okay.
Sorry, Facebook.
Well,
we love you.
As we bid adieu, we say this. Remember, most people are not lacking compassion. Most people don't know whatever the fuck is going on around this country, including me.
Where's that from?
Before
Where's
I
that
left.
from?
Jordan Sheridan.
Is it?
Self quote.
Yeah,
Really?
it is. Isn't it
You know what
good?
they say about people that quote themselves?
You asked who it's from. You asked. Who
Wait,
it's
that has
from.
nothing to do with you actually quoting yourself.
But we're gonna make
Just
sure
saying.
we're gonna make sure people know what's
Just
going on.
saying.
We're only two people. We're only human. We can't be everywhere. But we're gonna try to make the most of where we are. We're gonna
Yes.
try to have a conversation with you, if you can. Thank you to. I think we've had over like 100
People, yeah.
people contribute so far to our trips in Virginia and Flint and other places. If you can,
Yay, people are so happy.
sponsor jordansheridan.com/sponsor. You're helping me. You're helping cover him, Jen, and us expand. So it's jordansheridan.com/sponsor. We also really want to build out the monthly Patreon subscribers.
Yeah.
This is what is going to not only help us get back on the road, but help us eat and pay our bills and our rent and all those things.
And by the way, Ty took a red eye from LA, so that's why he looks super tired.
Yeah.
So help a guy out.
Yeah, I look
Buy him a
tired.
beer.
Ty took an overnight trip to get out here because we need to document a lot of the stuff
Yeah,
going on.
yeah.
So we will be live again this week. We will probably tell you where we are and what
Yeah.
we're working on. And I appreciate the love. And this band, you're going to be seeing a lot more of
love
this
you.
band. There you go, baby.
I miss sitting next to
The
you.
bromance
There
has
you go.
been super
Let
cute
me say
today.
this. Let me say this though. I want you guys to understand because we're all frustrated with this fake news and with these what they call opinion shows like Fox or whatever. You know what I mean? And
Well,
you,
MSCNBC.
well, all of them, right? You guys are yearning for something real, and that's what we want to give you. But that cost. So you know, support what you want. You know what I mean? You'll appreciate it more if you support it.
And also, I think we're not telling you what we're going to spend it on. We're showing you what we're going to spend it on. And trust me, I don't like make fake promises. When I tell you what we're working on, let me tell you something. This shit's big. This shit's bananas. BANANAN. And this is going to help a lot of people once we get this story out. So jordansheridan.com/sponsor. You're also going to see us. I mean, we might have. I did promise if we hit 500 Patreon subscribers, we do a Jewish rap battle.
Wow, I
Oh,
don't.
did we have that promise last
Yeah.
year?
Wow.
So this is going to be a
Wow.
rap
I can't
battle
believe you
between him
remember
and
that.
I. Yeah. So we're going to do that at 500. We're not even. We're only at
Super
400.
excited.
So we need more Patreon subscribers. Do your public service.
Who do you guys think will win?
Share this
It's
video. Share this video. Not only share it, write your own post saying Ty has joined Jordan on the road, and get it out there. Get it out to the world. We are building a media. It's not even an empire. It's a movement. It's a movement, baby.
It's a revolution.
So
Carl, I will not be participating.
thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more from Jordan, Ty and Jordan.